But I had my first orgasm when I was 12 in my sleep. I have sleep orgasms. Not all the time, but maybe once every couple months.
Sex in your dreams is not always natural. In some cases, it is a spiritual attack. There are such things as spiritual wives and husbands. In the Bible, we see that sons of God took the daughters of men as wives. Genesis 6 verses 1 to 4. And Paul reminds us, or do you not know that he who joins himself to a prostitute becomes one flesh with her? That's in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 16. That principle is not just physical, it's spiritual. Sex in the spirit creates a bond, even if your body isn't always involved. God designed sex for covenant relationships. Genesis 2 verses 24 says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." This is the only proper context for sexual intimacy. Anything outside of that can open the door to spiritual interference. Some of the doorways that invite these spirits include hereditary patterns and covenants made by your forefathers, unresolved sexual sin like pornography and masturbation accompanied by lustful thoughts, or traumatic experiences like sexual abuse. When these doors are open, spirits can exploit them. That's why it's a dangerous thing to take sexual dreams lightly or assume they are harmless. They can be a warning. They are not something to look forward to either. You must pray, break any spiritual ties, and guard your heart and mind. Guard your eyes, guard your thoughts, and guard your soul. God designed sexual intimacy to be sacred, and anything outside of his design is a doorway to spiritual attack. I'm sure you've heard of the incubus and the succubus. These are malevolent spirits that can visit you at night and have sexual activities with you. Now you might be wondering, what's the harm in these sexual dreams or sexual experiences? Some of you have even had sleep paralysis, where you had seen or felt something doing something sexual to you. Well, because sex is an exchange of energies, an exchange of virtues, an exchange of fluids in the natural sense. So when these spirits come at night and do these things to you, they are in fact draining you of some of your spiritual virtues, some of your spiritual light. In simpler terms, for some of you to understand, they take away some of your blessings, your quote-unquote good luck. Some can even swap your destiny. You know, that little good thing, that little special thing that God had put upon your life, that light, can be exchanged. Now, going back to it being something that can also be passed down from one generation to another, what I mean is, if your father, grandfather, grandmom, or anyone in your bloodline had made a kind of covenant or signed a deal, a pact or contract with some entity, and this entity would give them wealth, power, protection, whatever the case may be. In some cases, this person in your family might have assigned a wife or a husband for this spiritual entity. Now, once they die, they make sure that this entity keeps on getting fed by the people within the same bloodline. So therefore, you were given as a husband or a wife to this particular entity.